Hello, welcome to Mr. Quick's class. Today we're going to be having the Me Against the World debate. Blue group against all other groups in the 11th grade. The topic of the debate today is who is really the anti-hero in Animal Farm. So we're going to see what blue group and the red group, who's representing all of the other groups, see what they have to say as far as who is the anti-hero. Okay, so let me get the blue group. Come on up. Me Against the World is what we're having today. And the red group. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and get this started here. We understand that we're debating about the anti-hero in Animal Farm. Blue group, would you please take 3 minutes to explain what your position is about the anti-hero or anti-hero in Animal Farm and why you take this position?
Okay. Do I start? Okay. I'm going to start with the definition of an anti-hero. So it's an essential character in a story, and it lacks conventional heroic attributes. Okay, so I don't think, sorry. I think that Major is the anti-hero, the pig. Okay, here's why. So from chapter 1, he says, "Before I die, I feel it's my duty to pass on to you such wisdom as I have acquired." So one reason is that he passed his wisdom before he died, and this proves that he lacks courage and heroic attributes because he doesn't want to be part of the revolution and the rebellion that the animals are about to be in. Okay. And second thing is, he says that man is the only real enemy we have. Remove man from the scene and the root cause of hunger and overwork is abolished forever. This is from chapter 1. So Major is scared of man and only passes his wisdom when he knows it's the end of him. For him. He only conveys to the animals his fear when he knows he is going to die. That's okay. Second thing. So he says, this is in chapter 1. This is what he says, I quote, "That is my message to you. Rebellion. I do not know when that rebellion will come. It might be in a week or in 100 years. But I know as surely as I see this straw beneath my feet, that sooner or later justice will be done." So Major is promoting violence and rebellion, which is an act only a villain would do and an anti-hero would do. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much, blue group, for stating your position and a few reasons why you take this position. Red group, I would like for you now to state your position and why you have taken this position. But if you would like to spend some of your time rebutting what was said by blue group, you may, or you can spend the entire time discussing your position and waiting for the next round where the rebuttals will begin.
All right. So I think that Napoleon is the anti-hero of the story because of what he has committed against the farm and the animals. Now, not Old Major, but the animals made 7 commandments that they were supposed to follow. Don't drink alcohol. Don't sleep in a bed. Don't kill any other animals, and stuff like that. Napoleon completely disregarded all of those commandments. He killed animals by using his dogs to rip out the throats, therefore, making them lose their voice. And what's it called? He beds, and he manipulated the commandments to saying to not sleep in a bed with sheets. So he's lying, i.e., he's dishonest, which is a trait that an anti-hero has. And he also another thing that shows about his dishonest is when he was when the food shortages were low, and Mr. Wimper came to check on food storages. He filled it up with sand and covered it with the short amount of food that they had. So like he's basically tricking Mr. Wimper thinking that they have a lot of food. It shows how he's dishonest. And also, he's not a villain because he disagrees with Snowball on the windmill. He's an anti-hero because of how he chased Snowball out of the farm using his dog. Like instead of just accepting his opinion on the windmill, he literally just like unleashed his dogs on him and forced him out of the farm. Not in a peaceful manner, obviously, in a really violent manner. So he's not an anti-hero because of his disagreement with Snowball. He's an anti-hero because of what he has done against the farm and the animals. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so that concludes this first round. Second round, the two opposing sides will rebuttal. Okay, blue group, go to your team and prepare your rebuttal, and red group, go to your team and prepare your rebuttal. You have 2 minutes. One minute. Twenty seconds. Okay, I'm gonna have to call the two groups back to the podium. Blue group, come on up. Red group, come on up. Okay, so now we're going to enter into round two. Round two is the rebuttal round. We're going to rebut the positions of opposing sides. Okay, I think we're going to start with red group because we started with red group in the previous round. Red group, you have 3 minutes to rebut the position of the blue group. During this time, you can also restate your position, but if you want to utilize the entire time rebutting the blue group, you may begin. Red group.
All right, I seriously don't know how you guys came to the conclusion that Old Major, the wise and persuasive pig, is the anti-hero. Basically, he has no evil qualities that will qualify him to be an anti-hero. Plus, he dies in like the second chapter, so there's not much evidence to support the fact that he's an anti-hero. And he didn't do anything wrong. Also, the fact that he said that he condoned violence not because he hated humans. Well, yeah, he did, but his reason for hating them was justified because the humans oppressed the animals. They didn't give them enough food. They treated them horribly. They killed his brethren, and he didn't want that. He wanted that to stop. He wanted the humans out of the picture not because he felt like it, not because he's a dictator, which is what Napoleon is, and that's why he's anti-hero, but because he wants peace. The humans kept on threatening and killing and underfeeding the animals. They just did so many horrible things that old man just couldn't take it. And plus, the reason he gave them that song is to give them hope. The song was like a motive for hope. He didn't condone violence because he's evil. He condoned violence against humans because they were oppressing the animals. All he wanted was peace. That's what animalism is about, just peace. He didn't do anything wrong. And he can't be an anti-hero. You guys barely have any evidence on him to consider him an anti-hero. Barely. Like, seriously.
Okay. So now we're going to turn our attention to the blue group. Blue group, you have 3 minutes to rebut the red group's position, or the red group representing the rest of the group's class position. You can use that 3 minutes if you like to state your position, or you can use it to rebut for the entire 3 minutes. You may begin, blue group.
Okay, so we think the major is the anti-hero. The red group has stated that we barely have evidence, but do we know anything about Napoleon's life? But we do know about the major's life. We know that he's 12 years old. We know that he's the boy of the farm. We know he's a wise man that passed on his advice to persuade the animals to rebel. You said that he disagreed on the windmills, but he later agreed because he thought it was going to be beneficial. He also said that he killed animals, and plus he's trying to copy Major. Here he said, Beast of England, the song, it became popular, but it's the Major song, so it became popular. Okay, Napoleon with the dogs following him, now mounted on to the raised portion of the floor where Major had previously stood to deliver his speech. Here, Napoleon is copying the Major. Here, the other point from chapter 5, Scudder said comrades, which is Major's word. Also, Napoleon says that Muriel claimed that no animal shall sleep in beds, repeating Major's words. All of them are following what Major has said, which means that the Major is the anti-hero of the animal farm because he persuaded all the animals, and because without him, the story wouldn't have been a story. Thank you.
Okay, that's going to conclude round 2. I would like the group blue and the group red representing the rest of the groups to have a seat. You have 2 minutes to confer with your teams before we start round 3. Seconds. intermission. We're about to start round 3. If you will, blue group and red group representing the rest of the group, would you please come back to the podium, please? Okay, this is what we're going to start round 3. In round 3 is about concluding our position. You can spend these 2 minutes concluding your position, or you can spend them rebutting the opposing side. It's up to you. I guess group, you have 2 minutes.
Okay. First of all, you barely even have evidence from the open book. You're not stating any points. You're not saying what chapter you got your evidence from. Okay? You're only stating your opinion. You're supposed to state the chapter and like where you got your evidence from. This is not how debates work. Okay. Second thing. Okay, this is from chapter 2. Okay, so Major's speech had given to the more intelligent animals on the farm a completely new outlook on life. They did not know when the rebellion predicted by Major would take place. They had no reason for thinking that it would be within their own lifetime. Okay, so first, they had no reason for thinking that it would be within their own lifetime. This is a really good point, because this proves that Mr. Jones didn't treat the animals bad, but was rather helpful. Major's speech gave the animals completely new outlook on life. So Major's speech grew hatred of man into the hearts of the animals, which shouldn't be that in the first place. And because they had no reason to hate Mr. Jones. Okay? Second thing. Okay, I have one more thing. Okay, so the animals said, Mr. Jones feeds us. If he were gone, we should starve to death. So Mr. Jones, although like he was a hard master, but the animals knew that Mr. Jones was going through hard times, and like they know that without him, they wouldn't be fed and they would starve to death. So Major, he persuaded the animals to rebel against Mr. Jones when he was feeding them, and they had no reason to hate him at all. So this is really bad because he didn't give them wisdom.
Okay, blue group, I apologize. Your time has concluded. Thank you very much for stating your concluding position. Red group, you can spend the 2 minutes stating your concluding position, or you can spend that time rebutting. Leave that up to you. You have 2 minutes. Red group.
All right. They have plenty of reasons to hate Mr. Jones. Also, you're saying that if Mr. Jones wasn't there, they wouldn't be able to feed themselves, right? Yeah, that's why in the entire story they were able to produce their own food and eat that.
There wouldn't be a.
I mean,
I'm sorry, blue group.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Let us not take note from Mr. Trump. We're not in that kind of debate. Also, we're going to allow red group.
Also, just because I didn't say where I got what chapter it's from doesn't change the fact that Napoleon did those horrible acts against the animals. And I just said, also, I just want to since your previous point, we don't know anything about Napoleon. The entire book revolves, well, and after chapter 5, I guess, after he tries to know about the farm, revolves around Napoleon. After what he did to the farm, at the end of the book, he walks on 2 legs. They mention him until the end of the book. He's always there. Another thing, Napoleon is copying, what's his name? Major. Okay, he's copying him. He's not exactly copying him because just because of the word comrade. Plus, he introduced the idea of communism. It's up to the person who listens to the idea to do what he wants with the idea. Major isn't responsible. He's the he just introduced the idea to them, and they could do whatever they want because he was gonna die anyway. So just do this and don't do that. What the don'ts Napoleon did and the do's he didn't do. Basically, it's what he did. Major didn't do anything at all. Also, Major's the anti-hero because without him.
Okay, apologize, red group. We're gonna have to stop you here. Thank you very much, blue group. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we don't have time for another round. I would like to thank the blue group, Me Against the World, going up against the red group, and all the other groups in class. Okay, come on. Okay, thank you very much. All right, okay, so we are going to, one moment. We're going to allow the viewers to decide who won the debate. So, I got you. I understand. Okay, so thank you very much for I would love to have 100 rounds. I agree with you. Thank you very much for joining us in this debate, but unfortunately, we have to conclude.